Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to take a look at the overall market, like the S&P 500 and kind of those types of stocks. We'll look at the housing stocks as well, the home builders. Give you a kind of a different look on the markets than just all these different commodities. And obviously, this is all my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice or anything like that. But we'll take a look. We'll jump in it. I'm going to start with the 10-year yields. And the 10-year yields have pulled back since about June 15th. So June 15th, when we've been in this pullback. Lower interest rates usually equate to a stock market that firms up a little bit. We would also see lower rates with how, I just was looking at different stocks. The housing market's looking a little stronger too. So we're going to take a look at those stocks, but we've got the 10-year yield that's pulling on back, and we've got a dollar that's been moving sideways. Just to give you a kind of a high level on what those two are doing. So I'm going to scroll down and look at the overall markets. So I'm going to start with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 since June 15th, we had one last down day, and it's been rocketing on up, putting in a short-term bottom as yields drop. Is this a bottom where we go higher? You know what, guys? I don't know that information. You can zoom out. It's been a pretty big pullback here. We do have a big, large wick on the bottom here, and that usually means that the buyers are coming in and they're starting to reverse it on a monthly candlestick basis. Are we out of the woods yet? We'll find out, guys. It may take some time. What I'd like to see is a big bullish piercing, bullish engulfing, bullish something. This is a bullish piercing, this is a bullish piercing, and we don't have that pattern yet, but we are putting in a hammer candlestick. That hammer candlestick is similar to this candlestick here. So whenever we get these wicks on the bottom, you start to see some buying pressure towards this area where it could, and I said could, not will, it could, statistical probability, start to gain and move on higher. And this might be good for companies like uranium. It seems like uranium has a strong correlation to the overall markets, and maybe that will do well. Looking at the composite index, Nasdaq. Again, we're getting these wicks on the bottom here, just like this wick on the bottom here, and then the bullish engulfing candlestick. We got a little wick on the bottom here, and then a bullish piercing candlestick. And then they moved higher, little pullback higher. Now we're getting more selling pressure all through here, but recently, we've got a hammer candlestick starting to develop on the monthly with a wick on the bottom. We had a wick on the bottom before it. You could say that this had wicks on the bottom too, and then we came into a selling pressure week. So or month, I should say. What we need to see is what is the next candlestick next month going to do? Are we heading lower or are we going to go up? That just takes time to see what we do here. But right now, it looks like it's turning around. We're trying to turn around here. We have not broken downtrends yet, downtrend lines. So I'm being patient. And a lot of it depends on the 10-year yield and who buys that. I'll say a lot depends on what the Fed wants to do. Are they in there buying the 10-year yield or 10-year bonds? Probably. They're probably messing around with it. And it depends if they continue to do that. Looking at some of the other stocks just to get a gauge, they're all very similar. CMG heading higher. Is this that bottom that you get a double bottom and then we head higher? Maybe this is all it can muster for a pullback. Apple, again, we've got that double bottom. It's got a bullish piercing or bullish engulfing there. Came on back and now we're heading higher. Amazon heading higher, almost like that double bottoming pattern. Looking at Facebook, that's heading higher. And this is all short-term, guys. We've got Google heading higher there. That's a pretty strong day. Baidu, which is we'll call it the Chinese Google, just moving sideways for the most part in the big picture view. Visa up hard. Pretty good move up there. Pretty good move in MasterCard. The trade desk, it does look like it's trying to find a bottoming in this general vicinity here. But again, I'm just holding on to my commodity stuff. I'm not really looking at any of these. I'm just looking at the overall markets. Small updates here, hasn't broken through that resistance line yet. EEM looks like it wants to head higher too. Looking at the housing market, some of the home builders, just to get a look at those. They were heading higher. We had a bullish engulfing there. We've got our move higher. Now we have to see if it's sustaining. The buyers are going to stay in it. Big picture view, we're basically on this trend support line. We fell down, came on above, and then we're right on the support lines right now for KBH. MDC, big picture view, we came up and smashed our head on this resistance. What that line is. So I've got this long-term resistance line. We broke through that. It was game on. And then we went to another higher level. We've come all the way up. We hit our head and we've come on back. Short term, though, we've got some buying pressure, but it's not super strong. This doesn't look like a strong stock yet, and we're still in a downtrend. MTH, we're right on support. We bounced above that support line. Big picture view. Let's go logarithmic. This is what it looks like in a logarithmic pattern. We've broken to the upside. We're doing a retest. Are we going to run to the upside with this nice big hammer pattern? I don't know. It looks good. I don't own anything in this, guys. I'm just looking at it to see. But this looks good to go higher if the buyers want to take it higher. That month looks like it's finishing out not too bad, and the resistance or support line is supporting. TPH, we're getting these wicks on the bottom. I do think that they could be tied with interest rates, these stocks. That's why they've bounced quite dramatically with interest rates pulling on back. We've got CVCC, and it's bouncing off its upward trend line. This does not look bearish to me. This looks ultra bullish to go up. And it's bouncing off that support line. We've got Sky, which is still moving on higher. It's got a nice good wick on the bottom there. Long-term view. We've got Legacy Housing Corporation. Now, this one's had a pretty steep sell-off here recently. But we do have some gathering up here of some buying pressure. We'll see if that continues. But again, I don't own anything in these. I'm all in the commodity type stuff. I own a little bit in a couple, but it's not that much. It really isn't. Here is Leonard Corp. Leonard Corp's got that nice big wick on the bottom, and it's doing a return move. Came on up, and it's returning back, and it has a nice, good hammer pattern there on the monthlies. The dailies look like this. This is a bullish engulfing here. We'll see if that momentum can continue upward. Highly dependent on interest rates. We were moving on up recently in XHB. If you were to look, this is a retest move. So we've broken out of that. We've broken out of that resistance line and coming back and attack it for support and then potentially move on higher. HOV moving sideways at support. We've got Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers, this is a big old pattern. We've broken out to the upside and we're doing a return retest move. We're right there with a hammer pattern. It looks good. On the shorter term view, I wouldn't say it looks as good on the short term, but on the monthly terms, monthly candlesticks on the long term, it doesn't look horrible. And then LGIH, this is a bullish hammer pattern. That means we're coming off the bottom here some for this month. Again, guys, we're still in downtrends. It doesn't look uber bullish, but it does look like it's improving. I'll just say that. But that's the overall market and the housing, I should say the home builders, just to get you some other areas to get some eyes on it, see what they're doing. Again, guys, I don't really own anything in any of these companies, not anything of any amount of money. I'm just looking at it to see what the other sectors and areas are doing. And sometimes they have an impact. If they're tanking and just, bombarding towards zero, it's going to impact our investments as well as there's deleveraging in the markets. And it'll be widespread and everything will sell off. It's that everything sell-off event that happens. So it looks like they're firming up. We'll see if that continues. I think it's highly linked to the 10-year yield. If you watch the 10-year yield, you'll get a better indication of where most of these things are going. I do think that they're going to try to hold yields down, the Federal Reserve, that is, and other central banks. They've already come out and said that there's fragmentation. This thing is getting manipulated all which way on all these different sorts of assets, especially interest rates and currencies. So We'll see what happens. Again, right now they look better at the short term, and I think it highly depends on what interest rates do and what measures and steps that governments take, or I should say that reserve banks take to control the rate of inflation or to control the yields, or if they're going to bring those yields back down. All right, guys, that's all I've got. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Check it out, the Platinum membership in the description link below. If you'd like more information on any of these things, I have a question and answer session. There's one at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sunday, which is going to be happening right after this clip is done. Or you can go at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is the afternoon, or I should say the evening session, if you want to attend that. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.